14 people are watching us right now.
Yeah. Give them a show.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Coming together. Day one. The After the Show podcast. Let me see here. A couple things. Just tackle anything that's on your mind. That's kind of what we do here. Just throw stuff out. That's something was on my mind as I took the long walk down to my office. You know, I'm one of those people. I understand there's enough curveballs that are going to happen with our show, and I expect that. I think it makes, radio exciting, but I'm one of those people I try to anticipate curveballs or know what's going on or be prepared. I just find that things go a little bit better when I kind of know what's up. And I kind of got a curveball, and I had a moral dilemma towards the tail end of the show, and I don't know if I was right or wrong. And, you can let me know or you can blast me, one or the other.
Tell us about your curvy balls.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah. I had heard this story before, but I didn't have a name with it. And, every single week we get different comedians that, come to us through the improv, and it's something that, they deal with on the business side of it. And they're like, hey, these people are available. And there are times where, you try to be accommodating to them because we have a great partnership with them, and I believe in the improv and what they do and love it. I think they've got two great places, the one in Palm Beach and one in Lauderdale. And I love comedians. I think they're great. I didn't realize that the guy that we had in today, Steve Renazzisi, is the guy who had lied about being in 9/11.
See, I did realize it, and I knew that.
I'd heard the story, but I didn't, and I heard you talking about it before where, Steve had made up a story about how, I think it was like he worked for Merrill Lynch or something like that.
Well, he said he was in the building.
Yeah.
He really had a very detailed encounter of 9/11, and he was called out for it. Mm-hmm. Everybody hammered him about it. Everyone asked him about it. It was big, I think, a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and I think the only reason, and I kind of found out about it, and first reaction is like, oh, hell no. But the guy was already sitting in the lobby, but still, I mean, even if that was the thing, it was something that, juggled my conscious enough, then I'd be like, look, I didn't know, man. I can't have this guy on. And my first instinct is, I mean, you do something like that, like, I don't want to promote you. I don't want to promote your career. The only other thing is, I know this happened a while ago. I don't know what kind of tour of penance. I'm also another person that believes in when people are truly, they truly apologize and feel really bad about what they did. I think that we all make mistakes, and I'd hate for anyone to ever completely shut the door depending on stuff. And you're always weighing.
You're very good at when someone screws up. You don't like to really have them be crucified forever. You are a forgiving dude.
If you I believe in that. And so I didn't know what kind of tour he had gone on about, an apology tour of things and whether he's truly sorry.
He did. I think he has apologized.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better about it, but, And
well, what are people giving you a hard that we even let them on?
It's not even anyone else giving me a hard time about it. There are a couple of people sent, a couple tweets about it, but that wasn't even it. It was just knowing it, and I was in that moment where we're like in commercials, and I'm like, all right, here we are. These are kind of like the things that are going through my head. I'm like, do I let this guy on? Do I not? I'm like, yeah, I'm what he did to me is just abhorrent. Well, I mean, it's awful.
The thing that I struggled with was bringing it up on the air because some people do know who he is and what he did, and they're going to look at us as being pussies for not asking it. But then I'm like, do we want to create that? I didn't think it was the right move to even ask. It didn't feel right, and I knew that it was going to be heated, and I wasn't.
When he walked in here, I looked at his face, and I was trying to read him because every comedian who makes a big, big mistake like that, they know when you walk into a radio studio with a morning show that's a little edgy, they're going to bring up your uncomfortable stuff. If you don't want them to, don't go do radio. That guy had a look on his face like he knew we were going to bring it up, and he looked sad.
Yeah, that's the thing I feel bad about is, when somebody does have something that's uncomfortable and it's going to be like, oh, cringy. Mm-hmm. When you don't bring that up, how mad is your audience? Like, is the nation pissed off we didn't ask that? I mean, that's a true question I'd like to know.
I think I would have been more prepared for it. We've got a guy in town, and yesterday, my whole day, normally I'm prepping, getting ready for stuff, and these are things where I dig. And if I would have had yesterday and last night, I probably took up about 5 or 6 hours of my day yesterday doing this stuff that I normally prep. I probably would have hit it, and I would have been like, okay, wait a minute. I had time to really think it through, and I either one probably would have. I would have seen how much he repented, may have talked about it, may have just canceled it and said, look, I can't have this guy on.
I don't know if you need to cancel it. I don't agree with canceling it. I feel like if we're going to have him on and it was going to be controversial, we probably should have asked him about that. I feel bad that we had him on and we didn't ask about the big elephant in the room.
And for me, I didn't know the extent of
I didn't either.
What it was. I'm like, I don't know where this guy is, what he's done.
He's owned it.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely owned it.
He's apologized for it because he got a lot of flack.
Oh, big time.
But he didn't totally shy away from it. Like, he answered the tough questions and just said, I'm sorry. I did it for attention. I don't know why I did it. I did it because I was stupid.
He had he's done several interviews, and not to sound like they're excuses, but we did find out he was the guy that we're having minutes before we had him on, and we're only going to have him on for 4 or 5 minutes.
And when the whole time yesterday I'm having these conversations, I'm sitting there, I'm kind of tweaking. People wonder why I tweak because these are the fucking nightmares that happen when I'm not prepared, where you're just like, shit, if I would have had my stuff together and if I'd have prepared, I'd have hit this. I'd have been like, I'm not caught at the last second.
I would have known what I was getting into.
And I'd have been able to think it through. And I'd have been like, okay, what is the proper response on having this dude? And I would have known more about what he said exactly, when he said it, what he did to try to make it good and right, and then where everybody is with it right now. And, like you said, it was just, he had 2 minutes, he's on. I'm like, what did this guy do? I'm like, and I'm trying to look quickly to find out, okay, what all was his lie?
And that's just it too. I did not have all the details. I knew that he went on an apology tour, but I wasn't sure exactly. And then if you're going to call somebody out, you better have your details.
And that's just it. I don't have enough details. To me, that's it. If I'm going to step toe to toe and all this kind of stuff, he could be like, going, look, I had that, I dealt with that, I did this, I did, and you're like, okay, I'm just not prepared. That's why I don't like to not be prepared when I step into these things.
The other thing, too, is, we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to handle every interview the right way. Yeah, in retrospect, probably should have asked him about the 9/11 stuff because that's the hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah.
But he looked so sad, guys. I mean, he knew that there was a very real possibility
Sure.
that we were about to ask him that. I could see it on his face.
I know.
And he looked like he would just started crying.
The only thing I think about that, is like, I mean, you did step into it. And when you're in the public and you step into it like that, yeah, it may be annoying for you.
You're
but
right.
You're going to have to, because of what you did of that level, lying about being in 9/11 and not, you have to just expect every interview I do until I'm 80 will be like, so 70 years ago, you said you were 9/11 and you weren't. Yes, well.
I know
I'm a dick.
Some of the people critiquing us a lot of times is anytime you have somebody in and you don't ask that question and you kind of softball it up, people, they and then they get mad if you talk about it after and they're not in the room. And not so much like this, but if we have somebody on and it doesn't go well and we trash them after, a lot of people don't like that because then we come off like pussies, and we have done that before. Mm-hmm. I'm calling ourselves out on that. It's just if you're gonna do it, you got to do it in front of the person.
The thing is, the guy's already said he's sorry.
Yes.
And that's why I would feel bad, because I already know he said he's sorry. And now I'm going to bring him through it again when he just looked so, scared.
Well, the other thing, too, is, I mean, we rag on each other and we go pretty far with each other, but we don't
know this cat.
We don't like it. Like, with Rob Schneider thing, that's all great because we got national attention, but that was brutal. Like, you think that was so uncomfortable to fight with someone like that.
Yeah.
That's not...
we're not typically, we're not the show that's, come on here and fight. We try not to be. I mean, we'll fight amongst each other, but...
It's not our true nature.
Well,
no.
And I think for a while, it's like people are like going, oh gosh, gotta go on the KVJ show. I'm going to go in there and get ambushed.
There was.
They thought that we ambush everybody, which we don't.
Well, no. I could tell that there was some shit going on because for about a year, every comedian that came in, oh, you guys are the Rob Schneider people.
Yeah, no, a lot of comedians we had had candid conversations. A lot of comedians came in and be like, yeah, your guys' reputation is you attack comedians, and I'm like.
Well, oh, yeah, that's us.
Well, you know what's weird? The week or two before, we did have a weird moment with Norm Macdonald, and I came off a little dicky, and that's one of those things I wish I could go back and change. If I would have been a little bit more lighter and just goofball-y.
Well, you didn't know that Norm Macdonald had just smoked a bowl in our bathroom.
I was too dicky.
He was so high, and we couldn't figure out what was the matter with him, and it was just awkward.
It was too dicky, and you could have got more by being a little bit more lighter and fun. It could have got more. I was too much of a cock.
So there you. Now I know the name. I will not forget the name. And
Still can't say it though.
Yeah, Steve Renazzisi.
So hard.
Yeah, I'll remember it. The next time, if there is ever a next time that it comes back around, I will be more prepared and be ready for that. So anybody who's looking up, being going, wow, why did they have that guy on? Why did they not bring it up? That's really why. Kev was unprepared for. I had everything. I was all ready. I got everything all lined up till about 9:40 this morning. I'm like, what could possibly happen in the last 20 minutes of the show?
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
All we can do is learn from it. And I think we learned something today. No?
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
I honestly, going back, if I would step into it yesterday, but I'm not granted the information that I have today, I don't know what I could have done differently because I'm in a mandated meeting.
Well,
you did the right thing. I would still stand by what we did today, that it felt right.
Yeah, if I bring up 9/11, I could just see you guys going,
Oh, shit. And here we go.
I'd have been right. I've been right here with you, but I wouldn't have been able to. I don't know the details, but explain it. Yeah, let me know. I don't know this deal. I'm new to this story.
Live and learn.
I am new to this, and I don't know when it all went down. I guess maybe you're more plugged into the comedic circle. Like I didn't even know the story when it went down.
We talked about it. He's been on several radio. In fact, he did a roast game show thing with Jeffrey Ross, and half of the jokes the comedians used on him was 9/11 jokes. They were they ripped him apart, and he actually didn't do well. I think he got rattled by it.
Oh, well, I could see why.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough. Honestly, if
Well,
I've probably been like,
he knows any room he walks into, at least half of them are like, fuck that. He lied about 9/11. You know, people. There's some people that are never going to forgive him for that.
Sure. Yeah, I hear you. Let me see some of the emails that we got here today. Carla, she said, hey, guys, I just want to let you know I heard Denny's calling out Kevin for his pronunciation of the berry, acai. I believe he said it was like acai or something like that. Yeah, acai, something like that. She said this berry is from the Amazon in Brazil. So take it from a Brazilian. Kevin had the pronunciation right. Denny's is a dick.
Oh.
Or maybe it just has alternative facts. Love you guys, Carla.
Oh.
Denny's in there like, what did I do, man?
Just for the record, we love Denny's more than anything.
We do.
And we fuck with him because he's the easiest stuff because he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He could give a shit if you fuck with him. He's that awesome.
Yeah. And the question was, after Jaybird's plead the fifth today, should we have Denny's go on the hot seat next week? Should we do one more?
Overwhelming, yes. Everyone wanted it.
Overwhelming. I think we had one that said no. This one came in and said, you guys burned it to the ground, plead the fifth. If you ask Denny's questions, it's going to be a snooze fest along with a big vape cloud.
Wow, okay.
So how do they really feel?
So they're saying no?
They're saying a definite no, yes.
Everyone's a critic.
Yes, you ruined the bit. It's over.
Well, let's talk about it over the weekend, and I think the bit depends on the questions.
It does.
And the other thing too, don't ever not do something because one or two people email the show.
Oh,
That's
no.
a bunch of horseshit.
That guy's a dick.
Probably had about 35 positive, and that's the one negative. So you're right. Yeah, one's not going to trump 35. But I think the thing is, look at the questions. If we're like going, ooh, I can't wait to hear how he's going to.
Yes.
If we have great questions, we'll do it. If the question's like, I don't know. I mean, it's Denny's. He's so peaceful and benign that, what are you going to come up with that's going to rattle his cage or anyone else's? So
I got some ideas.
Okay. If you do, if they're good, and we're like going, okay, that'll be good. That'd be uncomfortable. Then we'll go for it. Depends upon the questions. Julie from Stewart said, hey, I want to let you know that I've been following your diet journey, Jaybird, and I, too, had a rough week. I didn't lose any weight this last week, but to hear how you handled your plateau is helping me to handle mine.
Aw.
I've been telling myself this is a process. If Jaybird fell off a little, then I'm just normal. I'm not alone, and I don't need to give up. This week has been tough getting back on the wagon, but I'm getting better, and I'm trying to strengthen my mind each day. Thank you for your positivity. We can do this, and I'm with you, Jaybird.
We can do it for sure.
Yeah.
It's really, you always hear people talk about, don't do diet, change your lifestyle. And that really is, I know it's cliche to say.
It is, yeah.
It's true, though. No one's going to ever keep a diet forever. You're going to strangle yourself.
Think about it. If you make a conscious choice to improve yourself every single day, you don't have to set big goals. Like I said, with you start with 5 push-ups. and then the next day you try to do 6.
You'd be a little bit better than yesterday.
But a year later, think about what you're going to be, what you're going to do.
He'll be doing 7 push-ups.
Yes, exactly. But still better than you were a year before.
I'll have punted by then, Virginia. It'll be my new diet because I'll lose the weight, then I'll gain it all back. It'll be the same horse shit next year.
From diet to candy, talking about M&Ms and such things. Samantha wrote in, said, listen to the After the Show podcast on the topic of M&Ms. It devastated me to learn about how here in America, the companies choose artificial colors, and some of those are highly cancer-causing. The red and the orange, I think, if you Google it, lots of info on it. In other countries, they've outlawed using these fake additives. The candy company uses natural coloring, so they aren't as bad for us. Our country doesn't have as stricter rules. I'd heard about that. I was talking to my guy Matteo at Revitalive. He was in here, and he's an anesthesiologist by trade at Jupiter Medical Center. And he was talking to me, about like the water bottles and the plastics that you have in there and the awful chemicals and what they do and the cancer-causing agents. And it's really something, honestly, that he was talking about how in Europe they don't have it. And it'd be really nice to me for our government to step up and protect us, from this kind of crap. Because, when it's out there and if somebody's selling it to you, you're naive in the sense you're like going, oh, well, how bad can it be? They're selling it to me. And I hate that.
I'll leave plastic cups or plastic bottles of water or drink in there, and they'll be in there for a week, cooking in the sun, and then I drink them later on, 8-9 days later, leading the league in cancer chemicals.
And then watch, he'll never get cancer.
Don't say that shit.
So what?
I gotta get a physical.
Don't say that he wants cancer.
No, I do not.
But, it's just weird. Like some people, they'll have like a little bit of stuff that they say causes cancer, and then they'll get cancer. And then some people smoke their whole life and never get cancer. Like,
yeah.
I think you're either gonna get it or you're not.
Maybe. It's one argument, one side of it.
Maybe. I think it's a hybrid of a lot of things. I think some people they may be prone to get it. I think some people you can give it to you're smoking cigarettes since the age 13 up to age 50 and you get lung cancer.
Yeah.
I don't think you're shocked.
Crazy. Then Camille sent this in from Instagram. I saw it and immediately thought of Jaybird. It is cereal cake. It's different kinds of cereal that you've taken together. It looks like probably almost like what you've done with Rice Krispie treats. And, why not? I mean, it makes sense. Marshmallow. I love it. It's so simple. I still love Rice Krispie treats. And
when done right, they're great.
Yes, and yet I'm not a big fan of Rice Krispies. So imagine if you took a cereal that I actually really loved, like this, and put like either icing or marshmallow. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, I'm about ready to start drooling.
Ooh.
Do you guys like Fruity Pebbles? I know that's not your normal jam, but
No.
even if you were
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
talking to the wrong crowd. Wrong crowd.
You don't know your room.
I do not.
I'm okay with it.
The fifth got me rattled, Virginia.
Cereal-wise, peanut butter Captain Crunch is my number one.
Okay.
Love the peanut butter
You need
Captain
to ice
Crunch.
down your mouth and your tongue after, though.
No.
Let it
That's regular
soak.
Captain Crunch. The peanut butter was round.
I know it, but I hear you, and I believe me. I know about peanut butter Captain Crunch. It still hurts your mouth. It's still kind of rough.
I would let it soak.
Yes.
The best part of peanut butter Captain Crunch is the last few bites because they've been in the milk the longest and they're like soggy, but so good.
The one that produces the best milk after is CTC. Cinnamon Toast
Crunch, yeah. I would agree with you on that.
Got this email from Rachel. Remember, she is the one who we talked to. She had that dilemma where this dude she knew in her circle was getting high and driving Uber.
Yes.
Oh, man, controversial.
Yeah.
So many people jumped all over us.
Oh, yeah, I am no longer cool in the weed group.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. A lot of people were just saying, hey, I mean, yeah, what's wrong with a guy, toking up some weed and then going around driving people? Some people were arguing, saying, I mean, if this guy has anxiety, it's not cool. You're hating on a guy that's got anxiety and he's smoking weed. And so, Rachel's going to clear up a couple of the things here about that. I guess I could have had her on, but I'm impatient. I just want to run with it today. She said, hey, I just caught up on the segment. I had a few good laughs. Remember somebody called in and said somebody's losing a friend over the other driver who thinks it's some friend calling them out? Remember that? I got that. Somebody's like, oh, yeah, we know who this is. And by the way, they just lost a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my gosh, that's why I wanted to talk to Rachel again. Because I'm like, the guys listening.
Was it him?
No.
Thank
So
God.
somebody else completely unrelated lost a friend because of her call.
That's happened before where we had something going on in the air and someone thought they were talking about them.
I know you guys are talking about me.
It's like, how much drama do you motherfuckers have?
We weren't even talking about you.
This is the
No.
danger of this anonymous game we got going on here. By the way, Rachel is not her real name. So I think that was it. I think it was another Rachel that had a guy that was, so.
She really was a Rachel.
So, yeah, I mean, for people, another thing to start to understand, almost everybody's name is changed. And
Fake
Yes,
names.
there's
even
no
on
one,
even on Facebook phishing, we'll
Yeah.
change them because we've already been on the heat with all that bullshit.
There's really no one that ever comes on, like Lily, who we talked to on the right. That's not her real name. That's a made-up name, and she's on The Voice Disguise.
Bird's name ain't Jason. It's Fred.
Yeah.
Kind of wish that's a strong name.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she said here, the callers got off on their own tangent that ended up being parallel from my whole point. The Uber driver is down in Florida because he was in a sober home, but he got kicked out of the sober home.
Oh.
He lost all of his sales jobs because he can't pass drug tests.
Oh.
I didn't feel the need to include the fact that he's not just smoking weed while being a paid driver. Needless to say, update to the situation, he's gotten arrested and evicted for acid and pills.
Okay, well, it worked out like it was supposed to. He's not driving people around town anymore.
So to all the callers defending him for possible anxiety disorders, there's still no excuse to be a paid driver when you're impaired. Hashtag be cool. Do what you have/want to do on your own time.
Yes.
Not others who are paying you for a service to keep them safe.
Yes. I'm the only one allowed to be impaired in my Uber.
What?
That's hard to say.
I just couldn't believe the fact that saying, okay, if you smoke a joint, and I'm talking about the kind of marijuana you smoke where you get high and you're altered. I was surprised by people got on us about saying, don't drive. You shouldn't drive after you do something like that because it's dangerous. And I'm not somebody that thinks down on pot.
Yeah.
I just really think that if you do it, that's one thing, but to defend it like it's not wrong, that's...
And then people are like, oh, so now you're going to be down on people that take Xanax, and what was the other one?
Yeah,
and drive?
I am. If you take Xanax and drive me around town, I'm going to be mad at you.
Well, I mean, I'll just say this. Everyone's different with their body chemistry. I was prescribed Xanax when I was 19, 20, around that time. I could not drive a car. I'm just being honest with you guys. I was very impaired. I felt like I had guzzled 3 or 4 beers. Now, as I got to be an alcoholic, I'm sure that wouldn't nearly... I'd have a higher tolerance on something like that. But everyone's different.
But still, even with alcohol, though, the alcohol is still in your bloodstream and it is still there. So you could be like, hey, I had 6 beers and I feel fine. Like, I don't even feel buzzed.
Doesn't matter.
Exactly. You're going to blow over a 0.08 or whatever it is. I think it's 0.08 here or 0.01. Yeah, is that what it is? Okay.
0.08.
Yeah, so there you go, 0.08. So you're still going to get the Dewey. I mean, really, the black and white is if you're impaired and there's anything at all where your eyesight's a little shifty, blurry, whatever it is, that's impairment. And if you have any of that whatsoever, don't operate a motor vehicle.
Speak for yourself, you fucking Boy Scout. Like, that was kind of the tone.
That was kind of it. Yeah, people are like going, how dare you? Like, it was almost like we were shaming someone.
No. And look, nobody likes to party more than us.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
mean, I throw down epically so much that, for days, Panda won't talk to me. That's not what it's about. We love to party. We just don't believe that a partying person has any business behind the wheel of a car, ever. And I will always fight that. And you will always be wrong if you fight me on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those opinions.
Says the woman making the argument.
I'm not going to change on that.
You're not going to ever change my mind.
No way.
Somebody had sent us a text after hearing Lily's call today. If you missed it on the regular show, she's been married 10 years, has 3 kids with this guy, and they have a computer where the apps link up, and she saw 2 apps. One was called the Scout app, and that is a dating app, and it's on her husband's phone. There was also another app that scrambles messages, and then at 2:30 in the morning he got a text message from somebody that had a peach and a smiley face with the hearts in the eyes. And she's like, look, what do I do? And she is, 10 years and 3 kids. She's got investment in that relationship, and pretty much everybody's like, take the power back, get out of this thing. But somebody texted us and said, what's the name of the message scrambling app? I just found the Scout app on my husband's phone.
Oh, shit.
Some woman heard Lily's call, checked her husband's phone, and sure enough, there it is. Same app. So
That sucks.
I don't know. You know what? And sometimes we always miss like one little nugget every now and then. That was a nugget we missed. I don't think we got that identified. So
Hey,
You
we're-
could probably Google search
Yeah.
name of scrambling apps, and I bet you'll get a list
Probably.
of them, and then you
Yeah.
can cross-reference that with what's on his phone.
And if you're catching this, Lily, just send us an email. Just let us know that. People are wanting to know what's the name of that app. Got Kaylee from Rockford, Michigan, who just said, hey, I want to drop you guys a line. Say, thank you for not getting political. You've been so great about not being biased during the political season and continuing to just hashtag be cool. So sick of whiny people arguing. It's all I see on Facebook and hear about on other radio programs. Even when playing political-ish sounding clips, you somehow don't make it annoying. Thanks for spreading goofiness and being so entertaining. I listen to literally every second of your show and the podcast, and it gives me a break I need from people's whining, except for Facebook phishing, of course. Can't believe I actually find myself questioning which side someone's on in the media. Thanks for keeping it that way. You guys rock. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that, don't like it. And I kind of myself, just even this week after we got through the election, say hey, we never win when we talk anything about politics at all. So
We don't.
Yeah.
Even honestly, Kev, even when you play the drunk Trump audio, it brings on such hate.
Right.
It's just not. It's not even fucking.
It's not worth it
Yeah.
because none of us have a political thing that we're trumpeting and putting out there. But sometimes people hear what they want to hear.
Well, they
and
do.
then we would never want to turn off half of our audience by having you think we have some political viewpoint that we really don't even have.
See, I'm glad someone wrote that email because some of the comments I got there was hate from us saying, "Oh, you guys clearly have a political agenda," and I was really confused because I felt like we went really hard not to do that.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where people are trying to see through whatever ambiguity you throw out there to say, what are their intentions? How'd they say that? How was their shade on that? So, yeah, we just can't win. So we're not going to be the show at all for that. I just feel more comfortable not even dabbling with it. Screw it. It's not worth it.
Good move.
Let's go back to farts and talking about cheese.
Yeah, the important stuff that this nation needs to be focused on.
But we actually haven't really been talking too much about the election.
No, this has been the week where I'm like, okay, I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Done with it.
Done.
Yep. Got this email, said, hey guys, we got a bird problem at my job I could really use the people's help on. She took a video, sent it to us. It shows an insane number of crows that are congregating outside my job in the morning when we get here and also when they leave. Not only are there hundreds and it's creepy sounding, they shit everywhere and it's disgusting. I really would like to get Jaybird and Denny's investigation services on it. But I'm in New York, so unless you guys want a road trip, I think I'm looking for the people's help.
If you flip the bill, we'll be there.
This just started occurring within the last month. We are right next to a funeral home, and I was told that they congregate when bodies get cremated.
Okay, this is a little too gross.
But I don't know if that's urban legend or truth. Maybe you can help me in that one, too. Either way, it's creeping out my coworkers. And, think about that in New York right now. I'm sure, you've at least seen what it looks like up north. No leaves on the trees. It's dark. It's nasty. It just looks very haunting. So if you're right next to a funeral home, there's a bunch of black crows, hundreds of them.
That's creepy.
That is really creepy type thing.
What's is it the buzzard, the one bird that hangs around? If they sense that you're dying, they're just kind of following you. Is it the buzzard that does that? If you're like out in the desert and you look like, oh shit, I might be dying, there's a bird that follows you around waiting for you to die.
Yeah, I think it is the buzzard.
Is that just a bird type
No,
of
what is
It's
instinct?
the bird that eats dead things.
Am I drawing a blank?
I see him all the time in Tequesta because we have
Vulture.
Vulture, there you go.
Vulture.
Yeah, vulture, thank you.
Is that a bird type of thing? Do birds? If you had if your body was dead, would crows and seagulls come up to try to eat you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a vulture. I think you're thinking of.
Vulture.
Suits is on a room delay.
Ooh, a vulture is ugly.
Yeah,
It is,
they're
yeah.
mean looking.
There's a couple birds that are like that.
Oh.
And it's kind of weird that, I mean, they're just a bird to them. They're probably going, this is discrimination. Because
I don't know.
they're
Have you ever
just-
met an ostrich?
they're just a
Ostriches
damn
are the
bird.
biggest assholes
well,
ever.
but I mean, there are birds that are in this category of they're associated with death, creepy, and they don't have like some people love birds, and like birds are beautiful. You got some of those birds that are like that. And I mean, it really is. We discriminate against the damn birds. Like crows is one of those ones that, if you see a lot of crows, you just think you put them in a different category, a second-class bird citizen. I'm like, is that really right? We do the same thing with the vulture.
I've known a couple bird people. I don't know, man. They might be murderers as well.
Well, I hear you. Same thing, and I've got something too. We got those, the back of my house, I got those sliding glass doors, and it's been beautiful. We open it up, and I love it in the backyard. Oh, it's so phenomenal. It's so great. I love it. I've been doing that the last couple of days. But there are these 3 crows that come by every single day, and the dog's food dishes are out back. And they hop off the house, they come down, they grab a piece of dog food, and they go, and I'm worried they're going to fly into the house. I'm like, if I get crows in here, oh my God.
Just a little FYI for you, if you leave your dog food outside like that, you can attract rats. That actually brings...
That makes sense.
That brings
we got
rats
a rat
to your
problem,
That will, they're like, oh, sweet party, buffet.
You have rats?
We've had rats,
Oh, that's
why I brought in that. Remember, I brought in the rat trap that we had.
That's right.
You're gonna have. You live by a golf course. You have rats too.
I don't have rats.
Everybody in South Florida. I love how people think that they don't have rats. Everybody's got rats.
Yeah, it's like people thinking they don't have crabs. We all have crabs, right?
No, I have a guy.
No,
he
I'm not
comes
saying
every month.
I'm not saying you've got rats living in on your couch. I'm just saying you live on a golf course. There's
You
shit.
just want me to have shit. You want me to have ghosts. You want me to have rats. What else?
Zombies.
So anyway, that's
you're in the normal cab. Everyone's got rats. Don't listen to fancy pants.
So I had that, but I got to figure out what we're gonna do with that. So we haven't. That's interesting to know about the dog dishes. So, but the dogs stay outside all day. So, I don't know how.
It also brings bufo toads too. I mean, all those animals that
really,
yeah,
we got bufo toads too. We got them all.
You're just bringing a fucking animal party.
We got them all. So there you go. Let me see. Anything else? Somebody in the chat room, Chris Metro, saying, come on, Kevin, Virginia, and Jason, get a clue. Your opinion on your own impairment means nothing to the LEO who pulls you over.
What are you talking about?
What?
This is still about the pot thing. There's some things you can't argue. You can't argue about pit bull stuff.
No, I think he's saying that it's not about how you feel. It's about whether you're impaired or not. I think that's kind of what I was saying. I said
That's exactly what you said.
That's exactly what I said.
Chris Metro, are you impaired?
Yeah, I said you could. I made that comment about the 6 beers. You can feel like you're fine, but it doesn't matter because you're still going to blow the thing.
You blow what you blow.
Basically, what we're saying is if you're putting chemicals, whatever it is, don't go drive. That's really the message.
Saw that. I was a little confused by that comment. So anyway, all right. So that's what's going down. And another one here from Graciela said, hey, Kev, on your meditation app that you're looking for. So I haven't meditated this week because I ran out of my 10-day meditation and they wanted $100 to keep going. I'm like, I don't know, $100 into it.
That's a lot.
She said you can Google UCLA meditation, kind of like the school. UCLA all in caps, and you'll find new meditation sounds.
There's so much information free online, man. I promise you.
Have to take a little bit of time trying to make that all happen.
Take a Saturday or a Sunday when you don't, when you're kind of calmed down after 9 events.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know you're right. When might I have time?
Well, then you don't want to meditate. You want to medicate.
Yeah. Exactly. All righty. That's all we got here today. Tomorrow, Friday. Usual fun stuff, No Name Movie Game. Going to have all that good stuff on. A little Drunk Girl Trivia. More tickets to Third Eye Blind and the I Love the 90s tour.
Remember the drunk girl we had last week?
Yes.
Yep.
We've got her friend on this week.
Oh, good.
Because they were all in the same group.
Right.
So you may have a little bit of last week involved again.
These are party girls.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So catch that all tomorrow. Thank you guys for locking in today. Appreciate it. Love you all. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.